So one of you guys sent me a story about the burning of a Christ Embassy church building.
This is Christ Embassy, Oregon. As you can see. Say go somewhere on the church. Say people don't dey inside church, yeah?
And so this happened, I guess, in the early morning hours and so forth. And so this particular clip that I'm showing you here, someone had sent it to me a little bit earlier on today. And I wanted to talk about it from one angle particularly, being how a lot of churches use something like this, a tragedy and so forth, to actually take advantage of church members. And so, but this is very tragic. The fire was massive. It engulfed the entire building and stuff like that. Now, why do I say a lot of church members get taken advantage of because of things like this? It's because it becomes an easy way to raise funds, even for things that are not necessary. A new church building requires a lot of money. I remember I've been in more than 2-3 churches where they've done fundraisings, and I'm telling you, those churches never built. Those churches never built. Y'all remember Bushiri also did have a supposed mid-rent church building that actually never happened. It never happened. And so building a church, we know it's costly. We know it needs huge budgets in order to accommodate all the people that come into that. And it's necessary because there's this huge crowd, but it brings up so many things that absolutely are disheartening, because a lot of people use that as a way to take advantage of their audience. And so in this one, it's very tragic in those two things. You can see 2 different video clips that I have pieced together here showing the particular building site burning and on fire and stuff like that. Now, on a report where they were actually talking about this particular thing, this is what they had to say.
Okay, right now, nobody has been able to ascertain the cause of this fire, which we have conflicting reports on exactly when it started. While some people are saying it started about 6 a.m., some are saying it started around 7. Now, Lagos State Fire Service, about 5 trucks already have been on ground here trying to put out the fire. Now, if you look right behind me, that particular building, the fire is still raging. Buhari, if you can go there. Yeah, the fire is still raging at that particular building behind me. We have men of Lasema, Lagos Police, and Neighborhood Watch are all here. It's so impossible to allow anybody cross this place where it's been cordoned off. And in there you have the fire service people. They've been doing all they can do to make sure that this fire...
Now, as you can hear, they haven't yet deduced what actually might have caused this particular thing. Now, you would have heard like the line of safety that they had put forward. It kind of reminded me of a story that was happening a little bit earlier on this week, which was from this prophet here, who was trending over a church demolition that they were doing. And you will see the people that were doing the demolition were church people. Now, for me, this was very irresponsible. This was a very irresponsible thing, because church members sometimes can break these rules of church, of knowing the right distance of how to demolish walls and stuff like that, and people can get hurt. So that was the thing that was shocking for me, is that average people in the church, okay, not that people can't break down walls and stuff like that, but when you have a large crowd, it's best to have safety with it. And this story here, I wanted to talk about it in that lane, because sometimes churches don't like to take responsibility when it comes to these things. When tragedy hits, that's when everybody must be crying. But when responsibility must be taken, they don't want it. The pastor, you could hear him, there was a video which came out where you could hear him saying, these walls, when they come down, your trouble comes down. And the whole thing was framed around them throwing off this wall, which was very irresponsible for them. Now, as I fall back onto that subject again, okay? Now, there's a whole story around that entire thing of Prophet Ebuka and his church walls and the neighboring church and whatnot. That's not what I'm here to talk about. What I want to talk about is how the responsibility of building a church falls back on people, and how many people have used it as a way of raising funds, even for unreasonable things. You've heard charges of things being overly priced. I remember one particular church building of a church that I was in was about 4 million when we started. 3-4 years later, they were still raising. And now they said it was 6 million. They gave reasons, whatnot, till date. Right now it's over 10 years. They have still not finished. So it's very heartbreaking when a church building goes down like that, because it opens route for a lot of greed and people who are not disciplined in that particular thing to actually come up with all kinds of reason to exploit church members. Okay? If you are greedy and you are not disciplined in this area, it can create all kinds of problems. So for Christ Embassy, they have not been known to be good with money and finances and stuff like that. They've done all kinds of schemes and things in order to raise funds. This is why I'm saying that it creates all kinds of problems. So I'll give you an update once they know what started the fire and when they have it, because it only happened today and so forth. It's actually added show with the daily Christian commentary videos. Around this time, this is when we apply Bible verses that say, we don't do anything by compulsion, but we do everything as we have decided in our own heart. Because people have sold houses at Christ Embassy to get church things done, with the pressure that is applied around offerings and stuff like that. That's why I say when it comes to church buildings, there tends to be all these pressures that people must be careful of. Even pastors themselves must be careful of. So it's heartbreaking to see a building that size actually burning down. You can go online and watch videos. I just wanted to kind of bring back this topic of being careful with money, because deception comes in, and a lot of deception can come from you being the one who's raising, if you're a pastor, But let's hope that they will do so the right way. It's the Reality Show with the daily Christian commentary videos. It's not nice for people to not have a structure of worship and stuff like that. I can only imagine what that looks like, especially if they have large numbers. Rentals can be crazy out there to accommodate big numbers like that. It's Ricky. I'll see you on the next episode. Y'all have a good one.